Hi all, good afternoon and welcome back. We'll start our next event for the day, which is a panel discussion from Noida chapter on intellectual agility for project managers. We have Gaurav Dupar, Vishal Goyal, Tapan Jain and Jyoti Mittal will be discussing on the topic. But before starting on to the session, I would like to thank our founding sponsor, Innovation Roots. It is a leading consulting and training service provider helping organizations to achieve business agility and beyond. It is one of the leaders and pioneers of niche publishing services and well known for content collaboration with global thought leaders, authors, and creators. For more information, you may visit www.innovationroots.com. I would also like to thank our sponsor Agile, which is a product offering from Tata Consultancy Services Limited. It is a purely cloud-based enterprise agile planning tool along with DevOps capabilities. Enterprise can use Agile to adopt agile practices or scale across Scrum and Kanban teams using enterprise scaling frameworks such as SAFe, Discipline Agile, LESS, and more. You can try out Agile for free up to 20 users for 30 days by signing up at agile.io or reach out to us for any inquiries or exclusive product demo. Check out the Agile page on Agile Network India website for more information. Here are some quick do's and don'ts for the participants. Join the event 5 minutes before the start time. Use high quality speakers or headphones for better sound quality. Keep your microphones muted and videos disabled as this may cause disturbance and bandwidth issue. Questions will be taken via the chat box. I request all of you to put your questions in the chat box. At the end of the session, the facilitator or the moderator will help and read out a few questions to the speaker as per the time available. And I request all the participants to fill in the feedback forms after the event to help us understand more about the event management. We appreciate your cooperation, and with this, we'll start our session, which is a panel discussion. Gaurav, over to you.
Thank you so much, Nisha and Agile Network India. So I'm very excited for today's panel discussion. And the topic for today's panel discussion is intellectual agility for project managers. So before diving deep into the topic, so let me give you a brief background about myself, followed by our esteemed panelists. So myself, Gaurav, and I am basically a digital transformation expert, and I have been on Agile for the last 7-8 years, along with project and program management skills. So basically, I come from IT delivery background, and I'm also a keen author and a speaker on various topics of agile, agility, business agility, and how it maps to digital age. And apart from this, I also hold voluntary positions of President of PMO Global Alliance India Hub and Senior Official of International Association of Project Managers. And as far as my professional journey goes, so I am having total 18 years of experience, and I'm currently working as program manager with Genpact. So moving on to the other panelists, I would like to welcome Tapan Jain, Vishal Goyal, and Jyoti Mittal. So I would request all our three panelists to introduce themselves briefly. So over to you, Vishal, and welcome to this panel discussion.
Thank you so much, Gaurav. So my brief introduction is I have near about 20 years of experience in design and design thinking, and we worked on a lot many innovation and design projects. And my core is the emotional intelligence, which is drive the design thinking and mapping agility towards the innovation. The how to use the agility, how to plan a project within a agile and come to the end innovation in a digital space. And I passed out from University of Essex, and I worked with means I started with my career with media, and then after gradually I move in a technology space. And now I'm running my own design studio, which is the name of Comdays. Thanks.
Fantastic, Vishal. Thank you so much. Glad to have you on this panel discussion. Over to you, Tapan.
Hey, thanks, Gaurav, and thanks to the Agile India team, giving us an opportunity to come here and, present the views on the intellectual agility, topic. Secondly, thanks to all the participants, who have taken out time during this, over the weekend and, joined us to motivate and, listen to listeners on the topic. Thank you so much for that. For my professional introduction, for everyone. So I'm a pragmatic technology leader and a business transformation enthusiast with agile mindset, having strong belief in innovation-led delivery and extreme focus on automation. I expertise in people and delivery management in varied technologies and environment. Carry about 16 years of experience in leading large, diverse clients in Africa, America, and Europe region for application development, maintenance, automation, and DevOps functions with focus on delivery excellence. Recently, I am spearheading delivery and brace engagement growth plans for a large retail company in their agile journey towards direct to consumer led model in 2020 by 2025. I focus my leadership bandwidth on grooming the next set or next generation of leaders, aligning their strengths and passions, and enabling the creation of self-sustaining and high performance team. That's a quick brief about myself.
Thank you,
Thanks.
Tapan, and looking forward to have insights on this topic.
Same here,
Now
Vishal.
we have next. Thank you. Next panelist, Jyoti Mittal. Over to you, Jyoti.
Thank you, Gaurav. Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. This is Jyoti Mittal. So I have overall 14 years of experience into delivery, and I have handled clients from various regions, from US, UK to Asian Indian clients. And it has been a great journey so far. I am an agile enthusiast and working with Sapien currently. So looking forward to deliver whatever my learnings have been so far. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much, Jyoti, and welcome to this panel discussion. All right, so I think we are good to start the discussion. Welcome everyone, and happy Sunday to all of you. And thank you all of you for sparing out time to listen to us and also participate in this panel discussion. So before actually understanding the linkage of intellectual agility with project management, let us first understand what intellectual agility means and why it is so relevant in this current new normal, or we can say the unprecedented time which we have faced for the last 1.5 years. So I would like to share my views, then I will move on to our esteemed panelists as well. So see, if we talk about intellectual agility, so it has got two parts. One is the agility and second is the intellectual part. So as we understand, agility is the ability to move quickly, move faster, right? And intellectual mindset, or the word intellectual means the ability to think faster and also understand the various choices which you have and then take decisions. So this is the simple dictionary meaning, or the meaning which we normally understand. But how it relates to project management and why it is so relevant, we will have views from our esteemed panelists. So first, I would like to go over to Tapan and seek his views on intellectual agility and how he understands this skill to be developed in a project manager or his team. So, Tapan, over to you.
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Gaurav. So if I have to start with, and thanks for giving the brief, definition about intellectual agility, Gaurav, right? So as I understand in simple words, and just to add on the definition you have added, intellectual agility is the ability to evaluate multiple, perspectives, absorb or adapt to the changes, and then come up with a new solution, or devise new solution basically. So now intellectual agility, in my terms, it comes, it may be for the team, it may be for you, it may be for the leadership team, it may be for anything, right? So if I have to give you a real life example, which we have, and as you started, Gaurav, that we have, this is a new normal since last 1.5 years. We have, it's a complete change in the way we work or used to work earlier, and then now, right now, the way we are working right now, basically, right? So if I give you an example of the real from the real life, so I'm a part of IT services company, right? So instead of delivery, I will give you one example of the supporting functions that helps to deliver the programs, basically, right? So in last 1.5 years, we have seen um, um, you know a little bit boom, or more demands coming in the IT sector. So I am aware that I'm really sorry that few of the industries have the negative impact as well, due to COVID, or the in the last 1.5 years. But there are organizations which have, or there are industries which have seen the enhancement or the increase in the demand as well. So IT is one of them. So in IT, when we see that, okay, more demands are coming in, because everyone wants to digitally transform their business, right? Because they want to scale up now to reach out to the clients or customers, and get more business online, rather than just depending on the stores or anything, right? So we see demands now. If more demands are coming in, then there was a recruitment engine was in completely into stress, basically, right? Because it's not only one program or project coming up with the demands, it was organization wide, basically. So that was one problem to solve. Now, as part of intellectual agility, uh, so what we did is, we came together from the recruitment team, from the project program team, from the leadership team, right? And we try to brainstorm that how can we make the things better for program, for the organization, for recruitment team, or for client, basically, to provide them services on the timely manner. We devise new solutions. So new solutions may, there are few that I would like to discuss. Is okay, there is a stress, yeah. Why, can there be any change in the process? Yes. What, let's say, engage the programmer project team early in the recruitment process, because let's recruit only the folks which are catering to your need, instead of recruiting generic, and then try to fit in the folks in the program, which may again lead to the which may again lead to the enhancement in timelines if the skills are not matching. So let's start including program and project team within the from the very first step, right? So to cut down the timelines, let's say, cut down your recruitment process, basically. Instead of having 3 rounds of interview, let's have one round of interview, right? Because project is already involved in the first round, so they can take the decision. So similarly, there were like few decisions that happened, that helped us to move further. Start motivating your team, basically, right? So rewarding them, because they are helping you to staff, they are giving their extra time to interview the people, they are giving, they are spending their weekends to help the organization fulfilling their goals, right? So you have to start listening to their problems as well, plus you have to start motivating and rewarding them as well, right? So these are the few things that we did, Gaurav. We also start including, let's say, we listen to the recruitment team that they don't have a bandwidth to be in touch with the people who are in a joiner pipeline, right? So they want to keep them warm throughout the notice period, because they want to make them feel as a part of team. Yeah, you have joined our organization, feel a part of organization from the day one, rather than waiting after 3 months, right? So you need to have that kind of process inbuilt. Okay, now how we do that. So all these kind of things we did as part of intellectual or being agile, right? Changing the vision, right, of the thing. You have to listen, you have to appreciate your team, you have to be stay alert, right? So that things don't go wrong at the end. So these are the 3 things that we did, Gaurav, to to bring the intellectual agile, or being agile, in the supporting functions, Gaurav.
Fantastic, fantastic, Tapan. I think this is a very practical example you have given, which every organization has faced. So really thankful for your insights. So now I'll move on to Tapan to share his views, his practical experience on intellectual agility and how he maps it with project management. Over to you, Vishal.
Thanks, Gaurav. Thanks. So, means for me, intellectual agility means when we talked about the scalable and sustainable framework. So every project has their own unique requirement, and every project has a unique team, and team is a core of the project. So means everyone need to understand the sustainable and scalability of the project. According to the sustainability and scalability of the project, we need to understand that key how can we move, how can we plan our agile system, agile framework, so it will grow with the project, with the deliverables. And means in whole scenario, in whole uh, intellectual agility, means the first thing is that key means we have to think about on sustainable and scalable framework. Secondly, we have a very operational transparent kind of thing, so everybody in a team on a same page. So there is a some means as a pandemics happen, we are working from home, and so there is a some place where we can share our progress, everyday progress. So there a digital dashboarding is extremely important for intellectual agility. So so that's a very intellectual thing, that when we means every project manager think as a mentor rather than a project manager. Means if we take an example of football, in a football there is no captain or manager kind of. So but there is a mentor who teach where we have to play on striker side, where we have when we have to play on a goalkeeping side, and where we have to play on a front line and a second line. So everybody has their defined roles and responsibility, and a mentor give you the criticalities of the game. Means what portion of the what second of the game is a very critical. So and which part of the playground is important for that time, and which team is most important for that area. So agility, I mean, intellectual agility is the very open-minded game, very open-minded game I use as a game. And you should be it should be very fun oriented, very interactive, very transparent, very sustainable and scalable. So this is the intellectual agility for me.
Fantastic, fantastic, Vishal. I think you gave real life examples and how project managers can help in developing this skill. So, with that, I'll move on to Jyoti to share her views, her project management experience, and her agile journey, and how she has been able to develop this type of skill within her teams. Over to you, Jyoti.
Right, Gaurav. So I would connect the dots again with what Tapan and Vishal has shared. Like we were intellectual agile earlier as well, but now in COVID times we've even become hyper intellectual agile. Being said that, we are not only adapting to our changed needs, we all are working from home, so that has got a set of challenges associated to it. We are not seeing our team members since more than a year, so we understand what they are going through, what if there is any unfortunate incidences happening at their personal life. So we have to balance it out in terms of both professional and personal life. So and that doesn't allow anywhere to relax the deliveries have to go on time. So we are becoming more and more intellectual agile, and it has also taught us to become more proactive rather than becoming reactive. Although we were doing risk assessments earlier as well, but our risk assessment to an extent worked when everybody started working from home, but we could not clearly cater to all the requirements, as in there were additional infrastructure requirements, additional IT load that increased because everybody was at home. So we catered to all that. We catered to the deliveries. We catered to managing people. So these were the things that we did, and we are still onto it. We are seeing how we can refine our processes, how we can keep employees more and more satisfied, because when you see people face to face, when you interact with them, you get to know more and more. You have that personal touch, but no matter how often you do video call, there is a lack. a lack of communication, and project management does not permit that. So communication should be the top thing on your mind, be it with your people, be it with your clients. So my focus is totally towards the communication and managing the risk and to the deliveries.
Fantastic, Jyoti. Fantastic. And I believe while hearing your insights, your practical experience, there are very interesting questions coming in the chat box as well. So it's about something how we can train someone to be intellect from wherever she or he is. So basically, it's a level of intellectual agility, how we can improve it, on how we can develop it. So that's the most important part, which is becoming very important to understand. So I'll come back to you, Tapan, to know your views, how you can train someone in this specific skill as a project
Right,
manager or as a mentor.
right, Gaurav. So if you ask me, then it's not a, so we can try to mentor people, but it's not something you can pass them on, right? Matlab, it's not a Python or a programming language which you can ask someone to go and do the training and learn, right? It's more of a has become a need right now. So we all have to learn. Few people are good at that, so they are facing less challenges, but few people you have to mentor and let them know, right? Ki, okay, how can you improve on, or you have to constantly provide feedback, and you have to constantly be in touch with them, let them know, empower them, and then help them do the things. Don't always guide them. Ki, okay, you know you have to ask their views also. Ki, okay, if we have to do this, then what is your viewpoint and how you want to do it, right? On top of that, you can add a cherry on the cake. Okay, I think this may be the this may bring a impact, or it may go other round. So if what if you can do it this way, as per your experience, you can guide them, right? And let them understand, agree or disagree with you, right? Because if you don't empower them, if you don't put them in a challenging situation, they will not learn, and they will also not let the their upcoming teams to grow on them, basically, right? So I think constant mentoring and empowerment, and be transparent with the team, and honest and transparency, I think, is the key to to bring someone or upskill someone, or or on being intellectually agile, or agile, basically, Gaurav.
Fantastic, fantastic, Vishal. I think there are very key points which you have highlighted. First one is about the learning. And I think that learning part is very important. And apart from transparency and empowerment, yes, that's very important in terms of pillars of Agile or the principles of Agile when we talk about. So my next question would be around this learning agility. So I would like to seek inputs from Jyoti. How does she embrace this learning agility or the implicit learning within her teams? Over to you, Jyoti.
Right, Gaurav. So my focus is towards implicit learning, as you rightly said, because Agile does not give you those specified hours wherein you can just let yourself free for trainings, do 40 hours of training continuously and not focusing on the work. So while we are focusing on implicit, we are making sure that all the requirements are being split to the deepest and smallest effort, so that team gets to know what is and how it is needs to be done. And apart from that, we also give them space to learn on the web platforms, so that any area of interest, any technical area that they are still wanting to learn, they can use those platforms and brush up their skills, because that is very much needed to survive in IT world. Apart from that, just to boost the morale of the team members, conducting a round of uh, online quizzes in form of coding competition, in form of quizzes, wherein even if they are not winning, but they are learning, they are participating, even if they don't know the answer, at least they get to know when they are in the quiz. When somebody else is answering, they might search it at a later point of time, but then learning is still involved. So that's the major area. And refining the processes, going through it again time to time, Agile is something that team has started to understand with time, to know how we are growing with it, because the requirements, they also understand that they are very being worked in a hyper mode. So we have to deliver, we have to understand the push that we are getting from the client, and we have to also make sure that we are learning. So all the three have to go in parallel.
Fantastic, fantastic. I believe in the last you mentioned about the push from the client. I think that's a very challenging task, because see, when we come to the learning part, so of course the focus is first on the deliverables. But how we can make sure while doing continuous delivery that element of learning is not lost? That learning should be prevalent throughout the execution life cycle of the project and post execution also, because see, when we talk about learning, it comes to various topics of interest or which could be relevant to the project, but now it becomes very important how to maintain a balance between the client deliverables and continuous learning. So I would like to seek opinion from Vishal. What do you think, how to maintain this balance between the client deliveries, the prioritized deliverables which the team has, and continuously learning throughout the journey of the project?
Yeah, Gara, learning is an extremely important thing. So, means I will give you example. So in our means lastly we are working on a one home automation technology project, which needs a lot of devices, equipments, automation, automation IoT devices. So in that project we start one learning platform called Legometry. Okay, Lagometry is where we built up, means come with the small blocks and make a one building. Lego is that kind of things, and Lagometry is that how we join together and learn something, and we fix a 1 hour every week, where we one firstly we create a one board where we write all the problem which we face within a project, means facing some deliverable, some technical problems, anything, any kind of problem we mention on a one whiteboard, and then in digital whiteboard, and then after we come together, and uh, every week there is another speaker of the within a team, there is a one speaker, and he try to resolve the problem from himself. So thing is that key means my means I feel that the agility is a very creative model, extremely creative thing, and in this creativity everybody need to involve with their own skill set, with their own experiences, with their own mindset. So in design thinking we use one term, empathy. Empathy is a extremely important tool for understand and give you the maximum learning within a community. So means in this agile methodology, means means creative agile or intellectual agile, so that everybody has to learn within a community, and community knows each and everything, and community has a one goal, and they have set deliverable. So when people start learning from each and everybody, so it will be a really a fun.
Fantastic, fantastic, Vishal. I think you touched upon a very important point of learning within the community, and I believe that's the reason the center of excellence, which we normally call in a particular practice, now it's moving more towards community of practice or community of knowledge. Because sometimes what happens, these center of excellence somewhat seem bureaucratic because we have too much processes, but the focus is lost where we need to share the knowledge with the community, right? So it restricts to those process, those standards. Yes, of course those are required, but ultimately we have to be pragmatic. So that's the essence. So thank you so much for your insights on this topic. So my next question would be on the technological changes, the fast speed at which the digital is coming into picture. So do you see a lot of choices coming up and that also creates a problem in evaluation of those choices, because what happens when you have too many choices, you have to select the best one out of them, and when you don't have choices, then you don't have a choice. There is only single choice. So Jyoti, when we talk about intellectual agility, so we deal with various choices, different perspectives. So as a project manager, how you help your team in evaluating different perspectives? What is your view on this?
Yeah, Gaurav. So I have a good example to state here. So if I talk about the challenges that I have, seen a project struggling with. So in the past, prior to COVID times, there was one project that I was in, and the project was in big trouble because it was not being delivered up to the expectations of the clients, as in the feedback was not a very happy one. So the entire thing had to be reassessed with the help of the agile coach to understand where we are lacking, as to what are the improvement areas, so why we are getting such feedback. So first thing was that we are having a lot of wastages in terms of the APIs that we are interacting with. Sometimes the APIs are down, sometimes the environment is down, sometimes the VMs are running very slow, we are not able to connect them. So that was one thing. Then apart from that, there were several other suggestions regarding the technical stack as well, that upgrading it to the latest will help us get the performance better. And then third feedback that we got was regarding the frequent interaction with the client. So by implementing these in phases, we actually saw a lot of improvement within the project, and the feedback that we started receiving from the client was a more happier one. And this also involved the team while we were analyzing all the things. So team also understood that if we uh, become more agile, if we adapt to these practices, processes, it will help us achieve the target. So team also understood, and it was a organized team, and we finally met the expectation of the clients, and it was eventually a good delivery at the end.
Fantastic. Great insights, Jyoti. When we talk about the learning agility part, so do you see any specific challenges which your team has faced while learning a particular area, or while mapping it with the client deliverables? Anything which you have seen in your past experience, Tapan? Any insights on that? While your team is
Yeah,
learning and they face challenges, how do you help them? Yeah.
right. So a recent example is Gaurav. As Jyoti rightly said, in her description that we need to, or Vishal was also saying that we need to have a legometry kind of platform. Let's say, right? We have to know that what needs to be, what team is looking for, and then we have to arrange, or maybe team has to arrange basically within themselves. So similarly, let's say in one of my program, we have multiple teams working on multiple use cases, or technologies, basically, you can say, right? Now it may be the case ki, okay, one person is good in one thing and second person is good in second thing, but they are not talking to each other, or they are maybe part of the different teams, basically, right? So there was, so to add value for the client, right? Because we have a kind of a right skill set within the team. It may not be in the particular use case team or the agile team, but it's in the team, right? For that particular client itself, right? So we try to prepare a map of skill set for the folks, right? That who is possessing what kind of skill set, and at what kind of expertise level. Let's say out of five, how much expert are you in this particular skill set, and then accordingly, because when we connect, so we know that who is lacking where, and and what kind of value does the client is looking for to add. So we started cross skilling, or cross training session within the team, and few sessions we did at the account level as well, because about the functionality, right, that what we are delivering. So this is how we try to solve one challenge, Gaurav, recently, just. And this is all because maybe we all are online. I mean, we are working remote, we are not facing each other, so it's like a more of a connecting. If we arrange these kind of sessions or if we arrange these kind of discussions, we are trying to connect each other as well. We are trying to create the bonding within the team as well. Gaurav.
Right, Tapan. So I think that's a very important point of cross skilling and cross training. So I think that actually builds a cross functional team when we talk about specific agile teams and how they can collaborate with each other. Fantastic. Now coming to the important part, which normally happens when we talk about intellectual agility, is how should we maintain sort of dignity in a chaotic world, right? Where everything is urgent. So sometimes what happens, there are diverse opinions or different attitudes of team members over a particular topic, over a requirement. So during your project or program management experience or managing various projects, so how do you feel this type of dignity can be maintained in such a chaotic world? So I would like to first go to Jyoti to seek her opinion, her views on this specific area.
Yeah, Gaurav, for sure. So we want to maintain this chaos with a dignity, and that's the major responsibility that a project manager has, because the project manager is one person who is like a uh, punching bag, I can say, for client, for the team. Client says that the requirement is super urgent. I want it in the next delivery, and then team will say that we are already working. How can we accommodate this new request? So we have to balance it out. If we are taking some new requirement in a particular sprint, we have to make sure that we are exiting some other requirement, so that the team does not get that pressure, that heat, and the satisfaction level is up in the team, because a team consists of several type of team members with different set of behaviors. Some would be submissive, some would be aggressive, and they would say, why are we taking it in the last moment, why are we not saying no. So saying no is not every time easy. If it is prioritized, if it is needed by the client, then we'll for sure will try to cater it. And if it is something that can wait for next sprint, then certainly. So this is the way that we've been trying to balance this chaos, and the chaos has to be the team has to understand why and how things are to be done. They are not to be just pushed with the decision that this is there and you have to do it. So if they understand the priority, if they understand the side effects of it not being done from the client's point of view, then they will certainly be in line with your thoughts and help you achieve the goal. Because ultimately we are trying to have a good journey and not only the final destination. So the journey has to be smooth and happy, and destination will follow.
Fantastic. I think that's a really great example which you have given, Jyoti. And I believe we have to make this chaos in an organized way. And I think that actually reflects the intellectual agility of the team as well as the project manager and other stakeholders. So I will move on to the next part of the discussion, which is around how we can build intellectual agility within multiple teams. Say, for example, we have one team which is working on a traditional type of execution methodology, and there is another team who is working more towards specific frameworks of Agile. So, how to maintain that balance? Do you recommend that all the teams should move on to the same framework, the same methodology, or they can still work in their own areas without changing the process? They can still be intellectually agile. So I would like any one of you to comment or give your feedback.
So Gaurav, for me, it's intellectually agile is not catering to specifically to agile teams. It's like for the for the program success, you may have multiple methodology. You are using, you may be using hybrid methodology, you may be using agile, you may be using waterfall or whatever. At the end, as the project manager, you have to make everyone successful, right? It's not only about the agile teams that has to be successful, right? So intellectually agile is more of a attitude, right, that you have to nurture or you have to build for yourself, for your team, right, so that they can perform and they can deliver in a agile environment. now it's agile environment is everywhere. Either it may be waterfall or it may be agile methodology. So for me, it's like it's more of attitude that you have to build within the team. Gaurav.
Fantastic. So
Yeah, I
Vishal,
agree with.
yeah, sorry. Yeah, Jyoti, please go ahead.
Just one
Yeah,
point,
yeah.
I agree to what Tapan was saying. So, changing of framework for any team is not a one-day task. We need to basically
Yeah.
understand their mindset, what processes they've been following, and then customize it so that team A interacts with team B in a smooth manner, and have that flow going on, and to see gradually how we can improvise the processes for both the teams, so that at the end they are using what is the best. So it will take time, but the interaction must go on with the existing framework, with the existing project management processes that they're using.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think that's the balance which we talked about, say, between the adaptive or the predictive world that needs to reside, because at the same time you need both predictability and adaptability in each project, right? So both elements exist. So quickly, Vishal, your views, how do you see this balance can be maintained, since we have a few minutes left and then we will have question answer sessions from the audience?
I really totally agree with the Tapan that the agility is a mindset. Agility is not any tangible or tangible capsule or something like that. It's just a mindset. If you have a right mindset, you have right team which work as a take any project as a challenge, take any project as a game, and everybody has its defined roles and responsibility. Everybody need to play within a team, for a team, and need to achieve means every project has a winning points. Means it's not just like that we have to finish the project. Means in innovation, because the things are moving very fast, so every project should be innovative. It's very important for organizational growth. So everybody need to understand that if we win, then we win together. If we fail, then we will fail together. It's not about the only the agile team, it's not only the testing team, it's not only the design team or a development team. It's only is the thing is that we work together, we have to achieve the things together, and we have to win the game. And the winning is the total result of the game.
Absolutely. Fantastic. Fantastic insights. So thank you so much for your insights and live experiences which you have encountered during your project journeys. And now I'll just pass it on to Nisha. So Nisha, I believe we have few questions. So let's take few of the questions which we have received in the chat box. So would you like to just start on that?
But before that, I'll thank you, everyone. And we have one question. Is this intellectual skill a choice thing? This question is asked by Priyank.
Yeah, yeah. So this question is from Priyank. So is it a matter of choice or something which we need in this hour or in this time?
So it's not a choice. I think we all have to build that skill out. Otherwise, it may lead us to failure at the end, because the way the environment is going on, the way clients demands, the client has become more demanding right now, right? Means not, it's not right now, from last 5 years we have seen that clients have understood that what they are looking for from the services providers, and they have become more demanding. And in a daily thing also, it's like ppts have been cut down, right? Because we cannot wait for everything to be ppt, then presented, and then to be discussed, and then to be decided. I think in a daily life also, it has gone to an uh, gone out of an extent. So yes, it's not a choice as per my understanding. You have to build that skill.
Yeah.
Thanks,
We'll
Tapan.
move
Yeah,
on.
yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
Next question we have, can we train someone to be intellect from wherever she or he is?
I would like to answer that. So, Nisha, training, a person who is fresh in the industry is more easier, is my experience so far. versus people who have gained a huge experience, as in, say, if there is a person who is at lead position with 16, 17 years of experience, he has its own mindset. He wants to go with what he is saying, what he has learned. So training him is tougher than training a fresher. So training and getting the agility into their working styles will differ depending on how much time they will take to understand and get into the flow.
Absolutely, Jyoti. Agree.
Thanks, Jyoti. And we'll move on to the next question, that is how to solve intellectual conflicts.
So, if I have to answer that, in 2 3 sentences, that if there are conflicts within team, so again, there are 2 3 things that we can do. One thing is, either we have to, you know, discuss and provide them pros and cons for the approaches that been discussed. Okay. Um, and or means at the end, if the conflict is not resolving, then it may be the case that you put your foot down and you have to decide for them, right? But that's the end goal. But at start, it's more like how how good negotiator are you, right? And you have to negotiate between the 2 parties or 3 parties are there, and then give them pros and cons, or maybe the impact of the solution in future or in today's world, right? What is more probable that client is going to accept. You may have a vision around it. If not, then you may have to gather vision around it, right? Accordingly, you can help team to come up with a common goal, or common solution, basically.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
conflicts are
very
not
well.
always bad. There are some healthy conflicts as well.
Yes, conflict
The
is good.
team is
Absolutely.
still
Yeah.
forming. If they are having conflicts over technical discussions, that's a healthy one. And if it is
Exactly.
something you find that is a form of unhealthy, they are overstepping over, their roles and responsibilities, then manager has to act as a referee between them and make them understand that what each one should be taking care and not conflicting over petty issues.
Yeah, very well said. I think Tapan and Jyoti. So I believe the conflict resolution techniques still hold true. And I think what you mentioned, Jyoti, in the last, so sometimes we have to confront them also rather than avoiding them. So that actually helps in solving the conflicts. And I believe when you talked about vision, Tapan, I think the communication intent should be clear. Why we are adopting a particular approach and what are its advantages and disadvantages. So I think that helps the
Absolutely.
team and the various behaviors and the conflicts which may arise. Yeah.
Yeah, correct, Gaurav. I think you have used the correct word, communication intent. Intent should be communicated first, and then on top of that, everything or discussion can be made. But if intent is not being communicated, then it will create a more chaos or more problem for the team and us. Yeah, absolutely, Gaurav.
Yeah.
Thanks.
So we'll move to the next question. How would we differentiate intellectual agility versus emotional intelligence or emotional quotient?
Okay, so this is very interesting question because emotional intelligence is a most demanding thing right now. So every product is emotionally designed for a customer. So the emotional intelligence comes from 2 3 basic things of the design thinking. One is the empathy and interaction, engagement, and interaction between the digital world and the physical world. So these things are very important for emotional intelligence, and the emotional intelligence is as important as intellectual agile, because the emotional person is intellectual person, and intellectual person is an emotional person. So both things are very parallel. You can't be a emotional without intellectual, and without intellectual you can't be emotional, and it's a practice.
Great, Vishal. I think that's the crux which you have highlighted over here between intellectual agility and emotional intelligence or the emotional questions. So, any more questions, Nisha? Uh,
We'll take one quick last question from Swatantra Jain. Seems IA is about being proactive and be aware what's coming. Doesn't Agile already includes that? How we differentiate from just being Agile?
Agile majorly talks about, quick deliveries and making things faster. Intellectual agility focuses towards, although it is, a subset of what Agile was already doing, but intellectual agile makes you more and more focused towards being adaptable to the environmental changes. So that we've been following since past 1 year, and we will be doing that in the upcoming times. You never know when the offices will get open, when we are going to resume, how our working style will change, will be in a hybrid model. So this adaptation will continue, not only in terms of our software deliveries, but in terms of managing the team, managing the clients.
Okay. Yeah, and
Absolutely.
we are
Absolutely, yeah.
right on time, and we have several questions coming up, but we'll take it offline as we are ahead of time. So thank you, Gaurav, thank you, Jyoti, Tapan, and Vishal for your wonderful discussion on the topic.